welcome to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always an instant classic.
And your
And we want to punch Jim Cornette in the face repeatedly until he bleeds because he's stupid. We'll see you on the flippity dippity. Oh yeah.
Do you like jobber matches? Do you like gimmicks that were working before, but then WWE changed them only to change them back right before the superstar leaves the company? Well, then you'll love this show, because that's pretty much what we got. We got jobber matches and Bull Dempsey going back to the. Let's just get into this. Start off with the segments. We got an interview with Finn Balor about obsession. That's what I got out of this. He said obsession a lot, and he talked about obsession, and he's obsession. Obsession is what you need. Any thoughts on obsession?
I don't know what it is about Finn to me, but he just doesn't interest me as a face. When he cuts promos, I just feel like he just feels like the typical face to me. There's nothing like special about him, which is kind of typical for everyone, but you know, Finn just seems like a special guy. He seems like a guy who would have something extra, and I just don't see it. I love him in the ring, but his face promos are kind of they're just hit and miss for me. Some of them I like, some of them I'm like I could have did without that, to be honest.
Talk about my boy Finn. While I agree with you, you're still talking about my boy Finn.
And I don't know if it's like because they're like holding him back but it just feels like there's something missing from it. And like with the character that he has, it just seems like there shouldn't be.
Yeah, I kind of want to see a heel Finn Balor, and kind of just I'm curious to see what WWE would do with it. You know, what way they would take it, and if they would do it good. Because obviously he was a heel in New Japan with the Bullet Club and everything. So I mean, he's done heel work before, and I feel like he's better with his heel work from what I've seen back in New Japan and everything. But we got a really cool Takeover Dallas promo that just kind of, you know, this Friday, blah, blah, blah. But I just liked it. They're kind of, again, kind of as they do with all of the takeovers, just kind of building up that, you know, NXT is, building up the superstars of tomorrow, I guess, you know. I just thought it was kind of cool. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that specifically.
You know, I definitely like it. It's definitely the more and more we see these, the more and more you feel like NXT is its own brand, its own entity, and the shows just seem really big. Which I think, you know, we've talked about this with WrestleMania, and you know how Justin's like, I'm more excited for NXT Takeover, and then you think about it and you're like, but it's still Mania, you know, like, you know, Mania has its own mystique to it, and I feel like the takeovers have like their own mystique to them. You know, they have their own kind of brand that they've created by themselves, and I feel like you know, the more and more we see like how they travel and where they go and how much the fans are gravitated towards them, I just think that helps a lot.
I also feel like this is kind of, you know, going into the future of WWE, because I'm surprised as of this point, WWE hasn't done a big pay-per-view where they do it over multiple days. You know, like Ring of Honor has pay-per-views where they'll have like a night one, night two. PWG has their different pay-per-views that do night one, night two. I'm surprised WWE hasn't done something where they do like an entire weekend. And that's something that they could slowly incorporate, especially like for the big four pay-per-views, you know, have the whole weekend with NXT, with the main roster, and kind of intermingle them a little bit, so it makes it feel like it's just one big pay-per-view. I'm just surprised they haven't done anything like that. There's a lot of things that you think of other companies have done that you're kind of surprised WWE hasn't done. But anyway, we got another look at WWE's newest signee, Shinsuke Nakamura. I loved all the superstars who kind of know him or have faced him in the past, kind of putting him over basically in this, talking about how good he is in the ring and, how, exciting it is for him to finally be coming to WWE. Any thoughts on that?
Shinsuke Nakamura. For Justin, who's not here today. God, I don't know why he does that. I don't. But yeah, I definitely like this. I thought it was cool. I thought it was definitely a I love the WWE video packages that kind of prove us wrong a little bit and show some old footage, because we always talk about how WWE, nothing else exists to WWE, and then they're like, okay, NXT, let's just throw a little bit of some old footage from Nakamura in there, and haha, got the fans. But I definitely enjoyed it. It got me hyped. I think it's always a good thing to show old footage, especially when they haven't seen them. I think this is something they should incorporate into NXT transition into the main roster as well, because if you're not watching NXT, you don't know what they have to offer. At least this kind of gives you something where you got something to offer.
Yeah, I mean, I like that they're showing like the old footage, but at the same time, they're showing it at angles where you can't see anything, like you can't see any logos or anything, and they still, refer to it as the Indies. And this one specifically, I kind of disagree with, because, I mean, you could kind of consider like Ring of Honor the Indies, you could consider, PWG the Indies and things like that. But I wouldn't necessarily consider like New Japan to be the Indies.
But was this specifically Revolution Pro Wrestling? Because I saw like a little courtesy under the bottom of a particular clip. I don't know if it was all of them. I just happened to catch that one clip where it was like courtesy of Revolution Pro Wrestling. So were they just using that company? I wonder.
It might have been. I don't know. I didn't notice that. I'll have to watch it again. But I mean, yeah, they're changing a little bit, showing that these guys actually, have pasts. They're not, like WWE superstars used to be, where, they were born and then became WWE superstars out of nowhere. But we got another No Way Jose. No Way Jose. I'm excited for this. It's going to be super racist, and it's not going to work, but I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see who this Jose guy is, and if he's like, is he Mexican? Is he a luchador? Does he wear a sombrero? Is he the Hispanic Robbie E? Any thoughts? Any guesses as to who Jose is and why we're saying No Way Jose?
I think Jose is gonna be something completely opposite of what we think. He's gonna be like the blackest black guy or like the whitest white guy. He's not even gonna be Hispanic at all. I don't know. It's definitely it's intriguing. I'm glad they're kind of keeping it as a kind of mystery. So they're not even showing like clips of him or like small like face flash or anything. It's just kind of like No Way Jose. So it keeps you interested. It keeps you intrigued. You can kind of like build a first impression off of it, but you can't build too much of a first impression off of it. So I mean, I'm interested.
It's gonna be easy. I know it. Next, we had a Bull Dempsey interview.
Real quick, ZZ did make apparently ZZ made like his in-ring debut or something on NXT. So that's just ironic. I saw something about that like about a week ago or something. I just thought that was ironic you said that.
It's gonna be ZZ. I guarantee it. It's gonna be ZZ. But anyway, we get a Bull Dempsey interview. Why are they giving guys who are no longer with the company interviews? They said he was leaving, and he hasn't. Why? I get the whole pre-recorded, but come on now, come on. Is he staying or is he going? I need to know. Any thoughts on the interview that I didn't really take notes on? I just kind of was upset that.
I hate it because they try to make it seem like he wasn't going to job out to Samoa Joe, but we all knew he was going to job out to Samoa Joe. Because even if you didn't know he was leaving, per se, even if you don't keep up with that side of wrestling or whatever, you still know that Bull Dempsey's not the same Bull Dempsey he was when he was facing Baron Corbin, and he had all that potential, and they were actually using him well, and I was actually excited for him. He's not that same Bull. Well, I guess he kind of turned into that same Bull tonight.
Yeah, but it was too late. We got a Baron Corbin promo, basically talking about Austin Aries. I did like the Virgil comment that he made. That was kind of witty there. Although I feel bad for Virgil. He was good back in his day. No, he wasn't. But any thoughts on that?
Great freaking promo. I loved it. I heard something about it where it was like one of the best promos he's cut in probably his heel time, I guess you could say, like specifically heel time. And I liked it. I think it was good because he had something like I think Baron Corbin's a lot better when he has something to kind of gear his promo towards. Like he might not be the greatest at cutting promos on just like the wall over here, but he can cut a promo on a certain opponent. Like I think he's really good at pinpointing like what that opponent does, what that opponent hasn't done, and like in the past couple of weeks, like he mentioned, how Aries hasn't been there, he's 300 miles away, and all of that. So I think he's really good with attention to detail with his opponents because he did very good with Apollo Crews too, and I'm just glad they're letting him talk a little bit more because I think as a heel he's really good. It comes off very natural, which probably is pretty natural. Comes off very natural, so I just think he's just doing a good job with it. I hope he wins on at Takeover, but that they like to let people who debut win for some reason.
I feel like though Baron Corbin's one of those guys who they could kind of use him like they did with Jack Swagger, and no, I don't mean give him a push and then give up.
Oh God, I don't want that comparison.
No, like Jack Swagger's good on the mic. He's not the best on the mic, but he can cut a promo. But if you put like a Zeb Coulter with him or Paul Heyman with him, it would kind of complete it a little bit. So where he kind of comes up a little bit short, that manager can kind of help pick up the slack a little bit because he's good in the ring. Like I think he's really good in the ring. He could go up to the main roster. It's just he needs that little bit of help with the promos still a little bit. I think he'll get used to it over time. It's just it is a hard thing to do. It's not easy to just cut a promo. But anyway, we get a pretty cool Bayley and Asuka video package, just kind of hyping up the women's championship match coming up, which unfortunately Bayley's probably going to lose. But I won't cry. I won't. I'll cry. Any thoughts?
Remember that picture I sent you earlier this week? Bayley. Anyway,
Yeah.
let that sink in. But the this is gonna be a really good match. I'm glad they're hyping it up. I'm glad they're making it such a big deal because it really is. Bayley has proven herself, and Asuka is the best in the freaking world. Darn it, I'm not going away from it until someone proves me otherwise. It's just not gonna happen. But you know, I. I think now that we're kind of on the women's division in NXT now, what's going on with the NXT Women's Division now? Because I thought we were going to see something like with Nia Jax and Eva Marie, but now Eva Marie's technically on the main roster, so now I'm really confused. So now I'm just like, I was just wondering about that because I thought Eva Marie was going to win the title and go straight up to the main roster like pretty quickly because they're like Eva, they're like bowing to Eva, at this point. So I was just trying to figure that out. I wish they would have brought Nia Jax up with her though if they were gonna do it, but for some reason they think she's gonna be a face. Anyway, so I'm wondering if maybe this is kind of off topic of NXT, but kind of goes with it too. If they're gonna maybe bring up Nia Jax with her and kind of let Nia Jax kind of be. I don't know if necessarily. I feel like Nia Jax could be kind of a mouthpiece for her. Like kind of an in-ring mouthpiece, but also like promo type of a mouthpiece for her. But I guess it just depends on how they're going to book her on the main roster too. I'm just confused now with that because I thought they were going, Eva Marie, Eva Marie, Eva Marie, and now they're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's weird. It's who obviously we're pretty sure Asuka's going to win the title. They're pushing her and everything, but then who's gonna step up?
Yeah, and Emma's on the main roster too now.
Yeah.
So like it's like wait, because those were the two people. Because Emma had won that weird match they had a long time ago before the last takeover, after the last takeover. So I thought she was the number one contender, and then obviously they were trying to push Eva as a. I don't know if they didn't like. It was weird. They weren't even trying to push her as a heel. It didn't feel like it just seemed like she came off as a heel. So they paired it with Nia Jax.
It's so weird because like if you watch like Total Divas recently, I know it's pre-recorded months in advance, but it's like they keep throwing Eva into like so many different things. They were gonna put her in a tag team with Amanda from Tough Enough.
Yeah.
That I guess never happened. They were gonna, give her the NXT title shot. That never happened. Now they're trying to make her a face. That's not gonna happen. So who's gonna face Asuka for the title? Who's gonna be in a feud with Asuka? I mean, Emma's up on the main roster. Eva's up on the main roster.
Is there anybody even qualified? Like besides Alexa, she's the only one. And really, I love Alexa. Don't get me wrong. But they haven't really been pushing her as a singles competitor recently. They've only been pushing her as like Blake and Murphy's valet, I guess. So like I don't even know if she's like directly qualified yet, like with a couple of matches and actually pushing her maybe, but like there's no one that's like right there, that's qualified for it anymore. It doesn't seem like maybe Dana Brooke, but she's been hurt for so long, she's not even really qualified for it right now.
I don't know.
I mean, the only thing I'm thinking is they're gonna have Dana Brooke challenge her for it because Dana Brooke's like, oh, you hurt me, so I'm gonna take what you what means most to you. You took what means most to me, so I'm gonna maybe do something like that. That's the only thing that makes sense at this point.
I don't think she's believable yet that she could beat Asuka. I don't know if there is anybody right now who's built up enough that they're believable that they can beat Asuka.
Asuka's just gonna keep the title for 6 months, never defend it because there's no one there. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do because like unless they're gonna like have them go back and forth or something.
I mean, unless they bring like Natalya back down again, because they brought her back in the past to kind of help out the division a little bit. I don't know. Let's just move on because this is just I don't know. The final segment before we get into the matches, Sami Zayn talks about facing Nakamura at TakeOver Dallas. I like this. He's excited. He's not overlooking WrestleMania, but this is a big opportunity for him, and more so for Nakamura, to make that good first impression, to get that first win. I'm excited for it. Any thoughts on the interview or promo?
I feel I love Sami Zayn too. I feel like at times the same thing I feel like with Finn. There's something missing to me, and maybe it's because he's on the main roster now, and I feel like I'm trying to get it to where, like, obviously it connects with me and it connects with the NXT fans, but you got to make sure it connects to those main roster fans because they're weird and they like other people. Yes,
I figured it out. Sami Zayn is gonna double. He's gonna be Sami Zayn on the main roster, and he's gonna be No Way Jose. They couldn't get the rights to El Generico, but he's gonna be No Way Jose. That's it. That is it.
Oh God. Oh God. that would be something. But yeah, I feel like they're still like testing Sami Zayn a little bit because I feel like I don't know if they have enough trust in him right now, as far as like on the mic, because they wouldn't let him go toe to toe with Kevin Owens by himself, going into Mania, which I feel like should have happened. I don't know. I just
Again, that's the thing that I disagree with WWE. I don't think every single superstar needs to have that perfect mic skills. Some guys just need to be good in the ring. I mean, I constantly go back to guys like Ken Shamrock, guys like Steve Blackman, guys that were just really good in the ring and didn't necessarily need good mic skills. But then again, that was the Attitude Era where, they tried a lot of different things, and now, WWE's kind of stuck in their ways. But anyway, get into these matches. All of them were jobber matches. It was Jobber Mania. First, we start off with American Alpha versus Corey Hollis and John Schuyler. And I gave DJ this match because he loves Jordan and Gable, and he loves jobber teams that get no entrances. And that's what this was.
I was actually surprised because I didn't expect Hollis and Schuyler to get any offense in. I was like, they're not gonna get it, and then they finally did, and I was like, well, okay then. I don't know. I feel like in a developmental system or in anything really, you just don't really need jobbers. That's not like how you, cause like how am I supposed to believe later? Like I know we do it all the time as wrestling fans because we're kind of forced to, but how am I supposed to believe later that Corey Hollis and John Schuyler are any good? Like, I know like it takes some time to be, to get better and be good, but the issue is they've been teaming for quite some time, over and over and over again, and the same result happens. So something's wrong. Either they need new partners or something, from a logical standpoint.
I mean, it's like the Sixers going on to have a winning season. How are you supposed to believe it if it's been, it's just. But anyway, I don't like, especially. I mean, I kind of understand it because this was basically a go home.
I think I actually found a better comparison. It's like the Texans actually winning the AFC. Oh wait a minute. They wait. You're telling me they did win the AFC? Okay, continue.
Anyway, I understand that this was basically their go home show, essentially, but you could have at least had, maybe one or two jobber matches if you have to, but you could have put other guys that, aren't necessarily in feuds with their opponent in matches together to make good matches, to not have every match just job out. Or I don't know, maybe build up these guys. Maybe that would be a good thing in a developmental system. Possibly. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a professional. I'm not an expert. I don't know. But, I don't know. This could have been a good match because I feel like Corey Hollis and John Schuyler are talented. We've seen from some of their matches in the past some good stuff. It's just they keep jobbing them, and I don't know why. But anyway, our next match was Baron Corbin versus Mike Cullery. I'm gonna be honest. I was trying to look up Mike Cullery and get some info on him, and I missed this jobber match just completely. I don't know, but I feel like that's all that really needs to be said about this match. It was a jobber match. I felt like Mike didn't even get as much offense as Corey and John did, and they got like one move, maybe two. But again, jobber match. Why? DJ, thoughts on jobber match number 2?
Wait a minute now. You should be used to this with Baron Corbin. This is how his matches always are. Come on.
That is true.
I was surprised this match lasted more than 15 seconds, with Baron Corbin. But yeah, I don't know. I just like, what good does it do to beat someone who we know you're gonna beat? Like, that doesn't make you look any stronger to me. Like, it maybe when I was younger, maybe, but like now, no. Like, I just feel like, you can look strong by beating someone, who actually matters, which we had a match kind of like.
Yeah. So, next match, the Revival versus Tucker Knight and Steve Cutler. Another jobber match. What a surprise. But before the first lockup, Dawson did almost slip on the canvas. I don't know if you caught that, but he almost slipped, and it was kind of funny. But Steve Cutler is kind of like his cousin's team, the Bears. He has some talent, and he shows some promise sometimes, but he just can't get the win. He can't. I'm sorry to any Bears fans. I apologize. Get it, Jay Cutler, Steve Cutler. Thoughts on the jobber match number 3?
I mean, what does it do? I mean, I don't know. I guess this one had a little bit of purpose because it did kind of show some weakness in the Revival, I guess. They did kind of have to kind of find a way to win, it felt like. So, maybe giving American Alpha a chance to win the titles at TakeOver, So this one kind of had a little bit of purpose, but, I mean, why can't you just put them? Well, they don't even have any more teams left on NXT anymore. It's the Revival, American Alpha, the Hype Bros, and the rest of these jobber teams that were on the show tonight. So that's about it.
And the Vaudevillains.
I forgot about the Vaudevillains. Yeah, the Vaudevillains too. So I mean, what? I'm just gonna quit arguing with it. I'm just gonna let it be.
So next we got Apollo Crews versus Alex Riley. A-Rye is back, baby. But instead of starting a feud with Apollo Crews and Elias Sampson, which will go nowhere, kind of like Sampson is going nowhere because they're not building him up anymore. Why don't they do a Crews-Riley feud? Because, I mean, this match, while it was still technically a jobber match, I feel like Alex Riley versus Apollo Crews would be more, appealing, I guess, at least to me. I don't know about this. There's no substance to this Elias Sampson Apollo Crews feud. Okay, he came out the one time and they automatically have a feud, but why? Um, I mean, you could build up a better feud with Apollo Crews and Alex Riley. Alex Riley obviously has his issues with WWE not caring about where he's been, and since Apollo Crews has come to NXT, he's been pushed and pushed and pushed. They could build a good storyline with that, a good feud. You get all the attention, and they don't care about me. Blah blah blah. But they're doing this Apollo Crews, Elias Sampson. I mean, at least what they could do is at least like a triple threat match, something, or make it a fatal 4-way. I don't know. But after the match, Elias Sampson does come out and makes all of our ears bleed. And yeah. Any thoughts?
First off, when did Alex Riley become a jobber? Why? You had him taken so seriously for those first couple of weeks when he came back, and now this. Why? I don't know. My first note I wrote was, why is Alex Riley not on TakeOver? Isn't it, I just said I didn't get it. But I did like that Elias Sampson came out at the end, and played that horrible song. It was terrible. Played that horrible song, sung that horrible tune. At least it was something. It was something different than him walking down to the ring with his guitar on his shoulder and sitting in the corner, putting his guitar down and sitting there. It was something different. He played a song. He sung some kind of weird lyrics that I kind of listened to, that kind of felt kind of promo-esque. It was a little bit of a build. There was a little bit more to it, at least this week. I was kind of excited. I like Elias Sampson because, like I said, I like all the people no one like. I'm that guy. But I honestly, I thought at least there was something to it. There was something building with the promo at the end. It might not have been much. It might have taken them 3 freaking weeks to do it, but at least it's something. And I would rather them try, because my thing is I would rather them try something with Elias Sampson and it not work than for them to put him in a match with Baron Corbin and job out and us not give a crap.
So I'm taking into consideration what you said. What more did we learn about him tonight?
I mean, he basically, like, I don't know exactly what we learned about him.
Exactly.
But
nothing.
But at least we saw a promo or something from him. We learned more from the promo. I listened to it. I just didn't write it down, so I don't remember it. We learned more about the character from the promo because he was directly speaking to Apollo Crews in the promo. I when I was listening to it, I liked it. There was a lot within the promo. I just didn't write much of it down because the sound. And and honestly, making our ears bleed is not a bad thing. He's a heel. He's supposed to. He's supposed to make us be mad at him. He's supposed to make us not understand him to a certain degree. So I'm just trying to give it a chance, because we would either way. If I get mad at him for having a character, I would get mad at him for jobbing out to American Alpha early on in the night.
All right. So in our main event, we had Samoa Joe versus Bull Dempsey, and since Bull is DJ's boy, along with like 32 other guys, I'm gonna give him this match because Bull is fit, apparently.
I don't know. This match was basically another jobber match, which is unfortunate. I mean, I get it. We've said this before. He's just giving back. He's giving back to NXT. It's his last match. He's giving back. He's giving back to Samoa Joe. But no, this is not the way you want to give back, Bull. So don't take this ever again. Don't take this ever again, Bull Dempsey. Listen to me. Listen to me right now. Don't take this ever again. You deserve better. You deserve better. But I don't know. I liked Bull when he first came out. And they for some reason tonight they decided to call him the last of the dying breed, like they were calling him before. Because okay, but I don't know. This match was just another jobber match to me. It wasn't anything special about it. I don't know. And I don't know if they did this, to show that Bull has no potential, so no one will sign him or something. Like, why? Like, I mean, I get it. You want to make Joe look strong going into his title match, but you can look strong in a decent match. You don't. I mean, doesn't have to be a great match. I know injuries, running rapid around WWE. I get it. We don't. But shoot, don't. Did my lights just flicker? Don't. Like don't take too many chances. I get it, but you know, give me something. Like, I mean, don't even let him have a match or something. Let him just be out there on commentary with Finn or something, and have him fight that way or something. Like, I don't know. I just don't. I just thought it was dumb. The aftermath though, that was cool. The whole Finn Joe, when Joe locked in the cookie and clutch, and him and Finn kind of went after each other, and Joe threw Finn over the announce table, and then Finn, I looked away for 3 seconds, and Finn's back up, freaking jumping on top of him, and I'm like, just like that. That was my literal reaction. But I definitely, I thought the aftermath was good. I just don't get why. What was the use of the match?
You guys remember CJ Parker? This kind of reminded me of CJ Parker, another guy who left NXT because they weren't using him. But again, like I said, of course, WWE would start using the last of a dying breed gimmick again right before he leaves. I felt like that could have worked. They could have kept that gimmick and, this entire time, and it would have worked better. You could have even incorporated that bullfit, a little bit of a darker bullfit. I feel like the last of a dying breed gimmick was unique. It was something. It gave it that throwback kind of feel.
You hated him the entire time he was in NXT.
I hated him, and then Bullfit came, and I was like, that wasn't that bad. I don't know.
That's what they do though. Like, why? Like, this is my issue with WWE and like the way they book their big guys. I guess. Bull's a bigger guy, right? And he was turned into like a monster, like turned into like a big brute type of a guy. Why does every big guy WWE ever signs, ever has, ever puts a gimmick on have to turn into a joke afterwards? Like that's what the bullfit thing was. It was just like, oh, haha. Like,
what gets me is, to me, guys should be able to go through the developmental and get to the main roster before they ask or want their release. It doesn't make sense that WWE is doing so bad with some of these guys that they want their release before they even get through developmental. Like they work their whole careers to get to WWE, and then I just, and it's happened with a bunch of guys. It's happened with Bull Dempsey now. It happened with CJ Parker, a bunch of guys, and it's just I don't get it. And it's because they don't use them, which is another thing that doesn't make sense. Why are you not using guys in developmental? This is what it's designed for, to use them, to teach them, to build them up. But anyway, after the match, yes, I love how William Regal comes out and brings even more jobbers to get beat up because, you know, we didn't have enough tonight. He had to bring a couple more out to get beat up. And the brawl between Finn Balor and Joe definitely kind of built up their match even more, got us more excited for it. Even though we kind of know how it's going to go, we're pretty sure Finn's going to lose the title, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but we're still really excited for the match. But any more thoughts before we close this one out? Because
can we get off of the jobber scene and please get the takeover? Because I know there won't be any jobber matches there. So can we just get to tomorrow? That's, you know, or well, today. You know, can we get there?
Well, yes, later today, we will have Takeover Dallas, which apparently is starting at 10, which is weird. WWE has their own network, and they're not. What? This makes no sense.
I thought it was one of those things where like it was going to be on Saturday after the Hall of Fame, and that's why it was at 10. Nope.
No, it's not even like I can understand, like, you know, for things, you know, obviously Texas is a different time zone than us, so that makes it even weirder that it's on later. Why wouldn't it be on earlier when, you know, do it when normal pay-per-views are at 8, so it would be like what, 7 for them or 6? I don't know exactly what time zone Texas is in, but it doesn't make sense. So it's not going to be done until like 1 a.m. and then we'll have the review at like 1:30, I guess. But we're excited.
It's at 10, I think, 10 p.m. Eastern. So you should be doing it around 12 midnight. So.
Yeah. Either way, it's going to be a late review. But so yeah, we have Takeover tomorrow, and then Sunday is going to be WrestleMania. We might do a quick video on if we watch the Hall of Fame. I don't know. I might. I don't really know. But also another segment we are going to be starting. I don't know if we're going to start it before WrestleMania or after WrestleMania, but we're going to do basically not a top 10, but I know a lot of channels do like a weekly top 10. I know a channel like Wrestling with Regrets does a top 8. We're going to do basically a weekly top 6. We're going to probably call it the ICWP 6-pack. Get it? 6-pack because we're alcoholics. No, we're not. But it's going to kind of hopefully be a weekly thing. We hopefully do on the same day, just kind of keep consistency and keep some more, you know, content coming out to you guys, you know, that we've tried to do in the past, and then stuff happens but we're doing this. This is happening. This is
at least once. It'll at least happen once, and you know.
Yeah, we'll have like two.
The second episode is just, you know, you never know. It might come a year from now.
Justin might mess it up. Let's be honest. Justin might, you know, we're trying
to change stuff all the time.
Trying to change our schedule and try to take our videos and put it on his channel and anyway. But we will see you tomorrow for Takeover, and then Sunday for WrestleMania, and then Monday we're probably just going to want to die because it's been so busy this week. But we will see you. DJ, say it. Say it. Good. He muted himself. We will see you on the flippity dippity. Oh, yeah. Also follow and do all the stuff that we tell you to do that I always forget to tell you to do, but do it. And then we'll see you on the flippity dippity. Oh, yeah.